4,000 people were killed in the confrontation. In 1989, students held huge demonstration in Beijing to demand that the government give them more freedom. Many people want to live in Beijing because it is the capital city and because they may have family and friends there, but they cannot because of the housing shortage. If you want to improve your listening comprehension with a text full of amazing and also shocking facts, this video is for you without question. First, you will have different parts to complete your listening comprehension. The end of the video surely will simplify your learning, so watch till the end. Beijing, the capital of the People's Republic of China. The capital of the People's Republic of China is Beijing, formerly called Peking. Beijing is not the largest city in China, but it is very important because it is the center of the Chinese government. It is also the cultural center of China and the center of industry and transportation. Shanghai is the largest city and Beijing is the second largest. Beijing is located in the northeast part of China. The city has mountains on three sides and it is between the Yangtze River and the Chaipai River. This was an excellent place to build a city because it was safe. Before airplanes, enemies couldn't easily cross the mountains to get to Beijing, so it was a secure place. The rivers connect Beijing with other parts of China. The city of Beijing covers a very large area, 9,500 square miles or 24,600 kilometers. Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen Square is a very important place in the inner city. It is a large open area surrounded by the main government buildings and museums. The Great Hall of the Peoples is on the west side of the square. The National People's Congress, the highest body of state power, meets there. It elects the government's leaders and makes decisions about the national economic plan. The Museum of Chinese History and the Museum of Chinese Revolution are in a very large building in the east side of the square. In the middle of the square is the monument to the people's heroes, a monument for the great leaders of the country. The mausoleum of Mao Zedong is on the south side of the square. Mao Zedong is buried there. He was one of the most important communist leaders in China from 1949 to 1976, the year he died. The economy. Beijing is a modern manufacturing city and it has many machine, chemical, and textile industries. It is also an important transportation center. Airplanes and trains connect Beijing with all parts of China and with cities all over the world. Beijing is an important city in the world today with great political power. Communist Beijing. China has been a communist country since 1949. Although there are economic differences between people in Beijing, the differences are not as great as you find in Western cities, such as New York and Mexico City. In other words, there are not as many very rich people and not as many very poor people in Beijing due to communism. The economy of China has become stronger and more open since the late 1960s. 80s. Before that, there were consumer shortages, and it was difficult to find many things, especially foreign merchandise, in stores. Now, the stores are full of merchandise, and you can buy things that come from all over the world. The Chinese economy is growing fast, and one of the problems that China may be facing now is that the economy may be growing too fast. This can cause inflation, which makes the cost of living very expensive because prices on everything go up very fast. The people and the way living are special in every city in the world. One of the many things that tourists always find interesting and unusual in Beijing is the main transportation system. Everyone, old, young, man and woman, rides a bicycle. The streets are crowded with bicycles, especially during rush hours. before and after work. Most of the cars are government cars or taxis. Not many people have private family cars. If you get up early in the morning in Beijing, you can see people doing their Tai Chi exercises. People of all ages go outside to start their day off by doing their exercises. They say Tai Chi is good for both the body and the mind. In the past, everyone used to wear monsuis to work and school. These blue or gray jackets and trousers and the small caps were like uniforms, and they were made popular by Chairman Mao. However, most people today, especially young people, wear Western style clothing. You can see jeans and miniskirts and other international fashions on the streets of Beijing, although some older people still wear monsuis. The problems of change. As Chinese society became more open in the 1980s, people had new opportunities, but there were some problems too. People didn't all agree on how much change and openness they wanted in their society. In 1989, students held huge demonstrations in Tiananmen Square in Beijing to demand that the government give them more freedom and become more democratic. The government responded by sending in soldiers to stop the demonstration. In the end, almost 4,000 people were killed in this confrontation. This was a tragic moment in recent Chinese history for everyone, no matter what their political ideas may have been at the time. Housing in Beijing. Today, housing is a big problem in Beijing because there are not enough apartments for all the people who want to live there. The government is trying to build new apartments, but it cannot build fast enough to meet the demand. Many people want to live in Beijing because it is the capital city and because they may have family and friends there, but they cannot because of the housing shortage. History. Beijing is a very, very old city, although it has not always been called by the same name. A city with many other names has been in that location for more than 3,000 years and 500,000 years ago. Some of the first human beings were living in the area of Beijing, so the history of Beijing goes back a long time. Historians, anthropologists, and archaeologists have always been interested in Beijing for this reason. And this part, which is the last part, will greatly simplify your understanding. Vocabulary, the meaning of unknown words. Excellent, very good. Secure means safe. Surround, it means to go around all sides. Bury, to put beneath the ground. Communist, a person who believes in a political and social system controlled by the government or by the people as a whole. Consumer shortage, not enough food or supplies for people. Merchandise, things that people can purchase at a store. Crowded, with many people. The next word, rush hour. Busy times in morning and evening traffic. Uniform, special clothing worn for a job or a school. Openness, a political situation creating more opportunities for people. The meaning of huge, very large, and demonstration, a public display of disapproval of something. Demand, it means obligation, request. Respond, to react to a situation by doing something. Confrontation, coming together face to face, argument. The meaning of tragic, very sad. The next word, housing, places where people live. Anthropologist, a scientist who studies human culture. And archaeologist. What's the meaning of archaeologist? Tell its meaning in the comments.